Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. So, just wanted to share today some hair accessories that may be very gentle on your hair and scalp if you have very fine, tiny Afro textured hair, and if you're also tender-headed. I'm extremely tender-headed. So I come to you running errands in the middle of just finished making a beautiful cake for a friend, but no oil, no nothing, very free. And this hair, as I may have mentioned, can't take it. So I noticed there are many of the hair accessories, just like many of the hairstyles, are no bueno for my hair. I cannot take the pulling at my scalp. I would be losing a little delicate hairline that I have. So here are some things, and I've tried many things. I've even bought hair accessories in the past that I had to give away or toss because they were so uncomfortable. I don't like to be uncomfortable, not in my feet, not in my hair. It's too much going on. So this is one nice little hair accessory. And I think I might have some in my Etsy shop. But these don't pull. Don't pull. And because there's an afro, because there's an afro at the scalp, you want to be careful with putting things that are too tight because they will cause weak spots and indentations in your locks. So just like if I'm pulling this back, and I pull everything very, very loose in order not to have weak spots in the hair. So I'll put everything very, very loose. So this is something that can go here. And actually, I'm only really sticking it either here or on this part of the hair, right? Not right where they join. Because here's the afro here, and here's the cottony stuff. And if you can see, look at that. You see how compact that is? You don't want to do that. Because again, this hair is so fine, it gets compact really, really easily. And you also want to let your hair dry thoroughly, right? Because when it's wet, again, this is so light, it gets compact really easy. And I like the fluff. So this is one hair accessory. Doesn't hurt. This is another hair accessory. Doesn't hurt. And a lot of times I'll do nothing. But every now and then you might want to jazz something up. So these don't hurt. Again, I've had some. You want to be careful that there's no snags. This is like nice and round at the sides, so this is not pulling. This is probably one of my favorite. Only thing I can't lay down on my back of my head and do yoga with this. But sometimes, again, because my hair is so delicate, sometimes I just want to pull it out of the way a little bit. And so if my hair is wet and I just rinsed it, because I rinse my hair often, these little clips are really great. It's a little teeny hair clip, and it can look a little bit fancy. This one is even smaller. This is so delicate on my hair. I love this. This is really, really delicate. Little teeny clip, and it looks kind of fancy. So I think I also mentioned in one of my favorite all-time styles is the bun. And again, the styles that I have now have a little length now. So some of the styles were, a lot of the styles that I was wearing as a loose natural, I'm able to wear now. It looks a little bit different, but I would wear a lot of loose double strand twists, and I made them. Maybe I'll look for some pictures if you all are interested. And you can also see I have a book that I wrote some time ago called Natural Beauty No Products. So there you can see my hair right before I allowed it to lock. I actually did not want locks. It locked on its own. So after a while I stopped fighting it during my travels, and I said screw it, because I was trying to pick it out with a safety pin and I was losing all of my hair. So these donuts. But again, in the honor of Afronomics and Afroflowernomics, I recommend you use a clean old black tube sock and roll it up like you did back in the days, because these come apart very, very easily. So what are you spending all that money for? Right? So donuts I think are really nice because these are so loose, you don't have any pulling. And so this is what I use for my favorite style, which I call an Afro bun or AfroLoc bun. And a lot of times I like to rock two of them. And then my other favorite, this is so loose. So loose. This is a really loose scrunchie. Now, because I'm not twisting, I don't do any kind of twisting. Nada. This is freedom hair. A lot of times you'll have a lot of loose. This is probably the softest hair I have, right here. And when this gets caught up, when you're pulling back in a ponytail or just pulling it, is so, I can't do it. Me and pain don't go there. Me and hurting feet. I'm not doing it. So these are it. There's one other thing. There's a little headband like the plastic headband without teeth on it, right? That you can sometimes put right here to pull your hair back. And so these are the main things that I'll use, or nothing. Just if I want to keep my hair out of my face when I'm exercising, I'm sweating. Again, if it's pulling, 1 ounce of pain, I'll toss it right in the garbage. Or if I have a collection of stuff, I'll give it to one of the young ladies. As a community auntie, I'll give it to somebody in my neighborhood. So let me rinse my hands. So I made a beautiful cake for someone today. I made a beautiful living cake for someone. Today I'm excited to garnish it because it's really an epiphany that I can pull fresh greens. I'm gonna have to wash my hands again because I can push. See, this is a perfect example. I don't want any hair in my food. So I'm just gonna pull it back and I usually take these two on the bottom. So this has a lot of loose hair and this is actually stuck to some other one. So I'll just pull it back and I'll use one of those little clips. And that's good enough for me. If I was going out, I spritz it with some water, tie it with a scarf, and that's it. I got other stuff to do with my time. I have the garden. I have the cocoon. I have business. I have training. Where's my towel? So who wants? I really don't. I'm not prioritizing hours and what for? Hours inside the salon. I'm not doing it. It's just I'm not doing it. So I'm gonna talk to you. I want to do one of my favorite pastimes, which is cracking coconuts, just like Grandma Lou. And then I've got to go back out in the garden. I just planted a whole new section. So, hold on. Let's get this cracked. See, this is efficient. Efficient way for me to chit-chat. So, now someone else asked a question today, and I'm just, look at this. This coconut is a bad. Actually, this might be a blue meat coconut. Let's see. No, this one bad. This is a bad coconut. That's going in the compost. So some neighbors laughed at me, but I am the one to recycle gray water as if I'm out in the bush. So I take a bucket and I put it inside. I strain it, my water, because I don't use a bunch of chemicals. And I'll fill 2 cans outside to have extra water for the garden, especially as we go into dry season, because you can lose all your months and months of work in your garden just like that from the intensity of the heat. So yes, I do. I recycle water for my garden. Got to grow something to understand. So hold on here. Oh man, let's hope this one's not a bad one. Dang. 2 coconuts. But this is how you learn. That's why I love having children around me. But that's how I learned being next to my Grandma Lou. Let's see. Maybe this one would be a good one, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I used to be in amazement watching my grandma do this like a pro. Grandma would be so proud. This is a nice one. Nice and fresh. This is my superfood right here. I think I'm gonna have to do one more. I'm losing my plantain. And actually, these here came from the tree outside of my yard. Yay! And this may not be a big deal to some people. This is a big deal to me. This came out of our yard. Yay! And I also picked some fresh mint. I don't know if I'm going to use margarine, but I just picked some fresh mint for to garnish the cake that I just made for a beautiful friend for her birthday. All of that good water. We don't throw that water in the garbage. Yep. Okay, so I got 3 good ones. Okay, so now what was the question someone asked me? Okay, someone asked a question earlier. Hola. Someone asked. Someone asked about hair that is thinning in a certain area, and so I've been talking about this stuff Some folks say you shouldn't talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it and keep it real, because I don't have time for the BS. A real concern of many of us is our hair thinning, right? But it's interesting, the things that we're anxious about, sometimes we wind up creating the very thing that we don't want out of anxiety. And I got all of this coconut water. This will be my second glass of coconut water. This is a staple around here. So I get filtered water, but I'm gonna drink the coconut. And some of it I might save for my, I think I make for my smoothie later. So someone was asking about very thin and fine hair in certain areas. Sometimes we can bring it back, and sometimes we can't. We may do permanent damage, which is why prevention is better than cure. So I encourage you, grow something, start your movement practice, and start consuming whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. If any processing, you do your own processing. That way you know exactly. I got coconut water all over me. That way you know exactly what is in the food. But as I've mentioned, this you see here, this don't go back no more. You know why? Because as a young woman, I was tweezing it and tweezing it and tweezing it and tweezing it. And sometimes we over tweeze and we damage it. So I'm gonna rock with my little what I have left. And I'm looking real sleepy. I've been working the last 2 nights. I gotta get in bed early. So this right here was pulled out too tight by one of my African sisters. I don't think she meant anything by it, but nevertheless, I was going to Miami and I had to put ice cubes on my scalp. It was so tight. I felt like my brains were coming out. I started to get a fever, a headache. I could not do anything but put ice on it until I got home, and it was so painful. I took a scissors and proceeded to cut it off, and I was like, never again. From there, it was double strand twists. You see the pain? The singed skin off, the scabs all over my scalp from the perm, the blisters. So needless to say, we don't do that over here anymore, along with the hurting shoes. I feel like they got pit bulls on your toes. We're not doing that. And this is so delicate. So a lot of times we're giving ourselves traction alopecia. One of my besties, she has a habit of pulling and picking. It's just like a self-conscious thing. Some people pick their eyelashes or bite their nails. She has a tendency to pull and pull, literally pull, into the point where it's like giving herself alopecia, right? So there's different types of alopecia, but a lot of it is from picking at ourselves and picking at ourselves and picking at ourselves and picking at ourselves. So that's why I decided to leave myself alone and watch your health. Just, bounce back as your hair, what if just the hair just wants to express and do what it wants to do? It's interesting that we are so chained by other people's perspectives and their comments. Even if you listen, I'm big on this thing of listening to your internal dialogue. It's so quiet, but it's subtle. It's going on all the time. Almost like if you listen, it's like, you can't go outside like that. People are going to say this about you. You have a business. You can't go into that gym like that. You can't go around these clients spending $150 an hour like that. This is what my hair does. This is it. So I made a decision. I choose me. And it's an energy. And the more I choose me, the more I like it. It actually makes me smile at myself in the mirror. Yes, well, all of this frizzy, people can laugh. I have retrained my eyes to the point where if I go to play like a couple of times, talking to some friends, talking my business, I've tried makeup on after all these years. And I feel, for me, maybe I'm not even doing it right because I don't really, hey, greetings. It's just not a priority for me. But I do get people treat you better with makeup on. But I don't live with people all the time. I live with myself. I'm in the garden. I want to play. I want to run. I want to jump. I want to lay on the floor. I don't want to worry about my hair getting wet. I'm going to roll on the floor. I want to be free. Like, it's almost like, maybe y'all can't relate. It's an anxiety bordering on mental illness that affects us in our pockets. I'm like, this is some BS. And for who? For a bunch of like perverted predators? I don't think so. So I'm not saying that's everybody, but I don't know about you. That's a lot of what I see out here. That's a good coconut I just opened. That one was really sweet. And this is the mature coconut. that I just cracked. Excuse me. So I've been thinking about sometimes what videos to put up or to share. And I'll be honest, I have so much content. I am so creative. My brain is busting with creativity. I can't even keep up. But sometimes there's only so many hours in a day between the garden, and I just came back from the wood shop or a lumber yard where there's a elder brother who hooks me up with some nice lumber for my projects. I have all these creative ideas for a solar oven. And I think I would just build everything around me into a garden. So, you know, sometimes I'm stepping on wood piles and I'm getting wood. That to me is exciting. That's play. That is exciting to me. Fitness and sweating. You see, it's hot here. I want to sweat. I want to jump in the river. I want to have fun. Maybe at some point I'll put some makeup on. I'm not. It's just not a top priority. Sorry, not sorry. I can't be turning myself inside out for other people. There's time for that, but just to exhale and to be free, which is why I said I choose me first. I ask me to dance first, and you know what? I respond. I have been one to get on the dance floor by myself and have a blast, and it just takes so much off the table when you choose yourself. Literally, I mean, we say these things, but really, if you let it land and connect, choose yourself first. It's it's a mind, it's a channel. It's a channel. Like when you choose yourself first, you're gonna give yourself the best food. You would pay a couple extra dollars for those blueberries. Eat less and eat the best. I'd spend $10 on some organic blueberries before I spend $10 on some cigarettes. Speak about dating and the plant-based lifestyle. So interesting. You should say that. Uniquely beautiful. So I don't even know how to describe it. I made a decision many years ago to put it like this. If I'm spending all this time grating, and I like everything from scratch, I just do. It's delicious that way. I just love it. The more I get into food, and when I realize I put so much time and energy, like exercising, like I'm in pretty decent shape. But when I'm really working out, like when I feel really powerful and athletic, which is why I recommend everyone get into develop a personal movement practice, cultivate one. When I'm putting so much care, literal care into myself and doting on myself and taking the time, I do breast massage, I do stomach massage daily. I'm planting all this food and then it's organic, it's going in my system. And you start to think like, why would I want to eat that? Like if somebody's inviting me out, no offense to anybody, because I used to be a junk food junkie. If someone's inviting me out for junk, I'm like, ew, no, thank you. My skin used to look like the friggin' sidewalk. Why? I'm not going to go out and have somebody buy me like low quality food. And I worked at one of the top restaurants in New York. So just like I've raised my standard and I find I'm refining my standard even more. So I don't know. It doesn't kind of in some way come up for me. At the same time, I'm not the food police and I can be around pretty much anybody eating whatever because I know what I'm eating for me. And I always make sure I have a really delicious food bag with me. I've been doing that for years. As a matter of fact, usually when I and my family whip out our food when we're traveling, people are like, where'd you get that? And I'm like, cafe, my house. So I make sure my food is beautiful. It's packed. That's one of the principles over here, Body-Culinary. That's a principle that I live by, and I encourage my clients to do the same. Because everybody's whipping out there like their Subway, the McDonald's, and I used to be addicted to McDonald's fries. And they're whipping it out. And you got some old boring looking Sprouts, whatever, on some pumpernickel bread with no sauce, no nothing. That's not fun. So I just had one of the most delicious pineapples. Like super delicious pineapple fresh. I'd rather eat, a half a pineapple and some organic cucumbers than eat trash. And that's amazed me. I was a Reese's peanut butter. Oh gosh, it was bad. I ate every junk, health junk, low end junk. So when it comes to dating, I would want to go to where Pure Food and Wine is closed. I heard she got arrested too. That's crazy. But I would want, health is a priority for me. Let me put it that way. It's a value, it's something I have valued for a long time. In addition, it may occur differently for other people. That may not be other people's experience. But to me, when I think of ill health and cigarettes and alcohol, I firsthand have witnessed substances, drugs, alcohol, and food, junk food, and food addiction take out the majority of my family. So it doesn't occur to me as pleasant. Some of it looks delicious. Some of it actually doesn't even look delicious to me anymore. Or there's an interrupt in my brain, because now it occurs to me, like if I'm smelling like, oh my gosh, I used to love the smell on Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn, because you got the nice West Indian restaurants over there, and I would smell from Gloria's. Shout out to Gloria's over there in Brooklyn, but the curry smells so delicious. But now I can also smell the fried grease and the fried oil. So all that to say, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I think when I show up at certain kinds of places, or like if I show up, what was it? I think on one of my birthdays, I did an obstacle course with my son. It was a military obstacle course. When you are into health, when you show up certain places, you're going to meet people that are also on that trajectory, right? So I kind of don't think about it, but I know for me, if I see certain things, they're kind of like a turn off for me. Some people like cigarettes may be a turn off. That's a turn off for me. If I see somebody kind of high blasted out of their mind, it doesn't appeal to me as a keeper. So I don't know if I would say plant-based. I think more so of health being a priority. You know, sometimes I think when we think about the labels, I think we can have a tendency to ego trip off if I'm vegan or I'm vegetarian. That doesn't necessarily mean health. Because healthy to me is, I think I'll be working on it, and I'm human. But a treat for me might be like the pie, the beautiful cake that I just made, right? Which is all fresh, whole, living ingredients. I like the taste of it. So that's what I would be looking for. And I've actually had some vegan men and chefs and stuff reach out to me. You know, are you made it? I've had people reach out to me, which is nice, you know, but I just have standards. So I kind of don't really think about it or worry about it. I do know health is my number one priority. Yeah, that's it. That's how I kind of think about it, you know? And so I'm not here to force or tell any grown folks what to do. If we're in alignment and synchronicity, then that'll just be it. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not changing my habits for nobody. And I've even said that to clients. I've noticed when people change their lifestyle and make dramatic changes in their fitness and their food, and if you're not stabilized in it yet, it could totally take you off your trajectory when you're hanging out with your friends or your family members. So I am a strategist. I might have mentioned before, I've watched for years documentaries of junkies. So I don't underestimate addiction, because I've seen too many junkies literally in my life. Alcohol, cigarettes, weed, to the point where it's like just not productive, very lethargic. I've seen so much of that I'm very aware of patterns. I'm hyper aware of patterns. So I don't pretend not to see what I'm seeing. It doesn't mean people don't have other great qualities about them. But when you spend enough time with that, your habits, you and your partners and the people, your circle of influence, the 3 to 5 people who you spend the most time with, your habits really do rub off on each other. So thank you for sharing. I'm actually cooking for dinner now. I love my healthy lifestyle, but yet to come across a brother who shares similar interests locally. So I always ask others. I've had people approach me. And I would say this, because especially with men, you don't tell men folk what to do. But my Grandma Lou, shout out to Grandma Lou. My Grandma Lou always had a smile and always a chuckle. And she always served people food. So even though my Grandma Lou was not a vegan or a vegetarian, there's just the essence of her was so loving. Again, not a vegan, vegetarian. I make a lot of the Caribbean dishes that she passed down to me. I just don't use flour. I don't use white sugar. I don't use anything refined. But the essence, I remember the essence and the fresh taste of her food. And so I add on my chapter to that tradition. And I think actually menfolk have always loved my food and my food presentation, even when I was making cook stuff, you know. cook food, I always had something for health. I also used to like to eat out a lot. I'm a foodie, but I'm eating at so many restaurants. I feel like I feel like your food should taste better than the restaurants, right? Because that's what you're up against. When my son would go outside, I was like, okay, I'm competing. I'm mom. Mickey D's has a $1 trillion budget. I'm mom. So that means I've got to be a strategist. So you get more flies with honey. So who doesn't like to be served fresh fruit and to be served fruit, beautifully? I've told most of my male clients, I'm like, let me help you out. Let me help you get a good Christmas gift. You make your wife's lunch. How about that? And serve it nicely. She's going to be in such shock. She's going to be telling all her friends. Am I correct? Am I correct? If the men in your life are making you a beautiful, healthy lunch and running you a tub full of bubble bath and serving you a fresh juice, I guarantee you, I bet my locks on it, you would be on the phone telling, you know what he did? Is that not inspiration? So I would tell some of my male clients, listen. Let your wife, she's into yoga, you into all these weights, let your wife teach you, let her show you yoga. And sometimes you can do that with your children. Let your children teach you something or show you something, but you can surround it. You can have it around health, right? So I'm like, I like a lot of fun and a lot of play, fun and play. Then you're fun to be around. You got to love your lifestyle. I love my lifestyle, and I always come bearing gifts. I'm very sensitive to young people. I know, like, if I ever go to visit my family, I always make sure I have some fruit that they have never tasted before. Like, I'm coming in the hood with lychees, white cherries, and they're like, wow, I never had this before. So I've had children, family, community say, oh, I remember the time you gave us, what was that fruit you gave us again? See, I'm always coming to have an experience or I really like memories, right? I really like to have fond memories. So a lot of our bonding is around food. So why not make habit work for you? Why not make the fact that we love food and we have a sweet tooth, why not make it work for you? Just be creative in your choices. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, yeah, and then also I had an early mentor, very early on, point out to me, when you're intimate. Now, this was a young woman in my 20s when she told me this. I had never heard this before. Now I think it's more common knowledge that when you're intimate with someone, kissing, exchanging any kind of bodily fluids, even if someone is entering you, the man is entering you, whatever he's eating, that's coming out in his fluids, right? So we know that secretions have certain kind of scent. Male secretions already have a certain kind of scent. So our body has a scent. Men have a scent. Some men, I don't want to sound gross, can joke that some women smell itchy. And men can smell bleachy. Don't want to gross anybody out. So you top that off with cigarettes and soda and red dye juice and cakes and Doritos and seasoning, and then no offense, like old cadavers boiled in oil and lots of refined flour, and mix that with the essence concentrated of someone, and you're exchanging this back and forth. In addition to people could be swapping those fluids with other people, and add to that, people have a bad attitude or they're angry or they're very stressed out. These are all chemicals. Woo. And many of our bodies can have an allergic reaction to that. You could be eating all this healthy food, and then you're ingesting that into your sacred orifices. Wonder why we have issues there. Now it's known fact. I'm the person to speak to young people, so pardon me. But, I'll make it plain. Because people are like, you talk like that to yourself? Yeah, always did. I'm keeping it real. That men also get, these days, can get chlamydia. And they can also get different types of yeast infections, right? If you think of yeast, all the flour, all the white refined stuff, how much more, most of your body's what? Water. How much water is in all these snacks and these things that can sit on the shelf for months and months at a time? I'm just saying. And then we're focusing on the hair. This is just like, it's coming from inside out, right? We want to slather all this conditioner and slather all this rose and all this essence, all this stuff on. But hygiene, anything that doesn't resonate, please leave it right here. Hygiene is starting with what we eat. I know usually my biggest Achilles heel sometimes is sleep. So right now, I need some sleep. But sleep is hygiene, just like plugging your cell phone back in. But a big part of hygiene is every single thing that we're eating. So I am the trainer, gardener, coach to help you gently or provide another perspective. I don't like to tell grown folks what to do. I'm not in business of telling grown folks what to do. Even my son is a big grown man right now. So from another perspective, if there's a man that's very excited about his health, that's great for me. Because I actually don't want certain stuff in my home, you know. So I like having a garden. I like a lot of sunshine. I like having lots of berries. That's less time at the doctor's office. And then as you mature, when you're ready to go on a cruise, who wants to push somebody around in a wheelchair? You know, I don't want to wear a colostomy bag. Something is still happening, but that's not my intention. So I make an effort to eat and consume. So I'm not going to use the labels for longevity. I'm eating for beauty. I'm eating for vitality. And I'm eating for my mood. So what kind of mood are Doritos, which I used to be addicted to, are they going to give me? And Ingles, pray, saying that big Latin. What kind of mood is they going to put me in? What kind of mood is they going to put your partner in? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So we want to be beautiful here on the hour. We want a certain result because beauty is subjective. We want to look and feel a certain way, yet there's a disconnect with what we're putting into our bodies, and that includes other people. It's also including what we're listening to, right? That can also make it really hard, if not almost impossible, to consume very intentionally when you're so distracted by all the stressful things that you're seeing online. I'm very clear that we're affected by everything that we're seeing, and some of you may not be able to help. So the more we can be intentional, which is why I recommend that people, the relaxation videos that are here, you know, some of them are short, maybe a couple of them are instructional. I recommend folks cultivate a circle of influence. You might be the only person around you that's interested in health, or you may yourself want support, right? I have for years, one of my top secrets is I create a circle of influence for myself where there is none. There's so many folks that don't know they my friends and my workout buddies that don't complain, that are consistent. And before YouTube, I've been doing that for years. Certain things for me work like a charm. It's consistent. I've been using certain things forever, and one of them is support. And so people that look like me, some of them don't look like me. Some of them, right now I have some Asian friends in China and also I think Canada. In Canada, that we growing vegetables together. They don't even know it. You know, I have another channel that I haven't opened. I got so much content, just backlogged. Something I call Coco Think Tank, because I am excited about learning. Right before the pandemic hit, I was taking Chinese, Mandarin, and I was taking Japanese classes. So excited. And so somebody was like, I don't know if I'll ever become a professional at it, but I like learning. It was really, really challenging. And I got to meet new people. It was so fun. It just like opens up another area of the brain. So it's wonderful. I always have food in my bag to share. Right. And then people always dying asking questions about my hair or my culture and other stuff. So health is a priority. I think many people are interested in health, but we're so in group think and group herd like mode right now. So shout out, hey Cheryl. So sending us some warm positive vibration. So I was starting, if I totally lose focus, let me get one of my old trusty knives. Let me get a sup of coconut water. And you start cracking these coconuts. So I'm not here all day. And I just had some caimito. I saved some other for my sister. So these are the seeds. There's a green one and a purple one. So here are the seeds. I think I showed the fruit in another video. The most recent one, I showed sapodilla, a local fruit here. That's caimito. And custard apple. This is one variety. This tastes like, a custardy peach apple cobbler, but it's a fruit. So sometimes they can be more purplish or like a more of a dark red color. This one is not ripe yet. So they're different. Actually, they're related to the cherimoya. Almost like soursop, but these are not bumpy. But this is more like a custardy feel. So, new fruit. there. All beauty food, all peaceful food. No blood spill is required. So we're gonna crack open these coconuts right here. And I was saying that if folks have questions, you can ask questions. Oh, so did I fully answer the other sister's question? She was asking me about thin and fine hair, and I was saying that I'm not the person to give like a fly-by-night answer. Some stuff I can answer, some I cannot, because I can't see the person, and I don't think that would be really an integrity, you know. And then a lot of times people be jumping around all over the place, and without a health history or medical. Oops, lost a piece of coconut. A health history, a medical history. You know, I deal primarily with food. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I am a chef and a personal trainer for many years. And I'm a mom. And I'd rather do things, you know, not perfect, but strive for some kind of integrity and give somebody some information that's really useful. I think sometimes we may want like a quick answer, but that's probably the quick answer is probably not going to really give you what you think it is. You know, so there's a whole process. There's a process, and so nobody is exempt from process. So all that to say, I can't really see what's going on with somebody, and then I can only give you my perspective based on my experience, which I've been natural for many years now. I think over 3 decades in my return to natural. That one's a nice one. Looked it right out. Now I got a nice little bowl. So my grandma would have been done already. But also, I don't want to cut myself. So these to me are beauty foods. And this also for me, and shout out to those folks that are in the cocoon, right? We do stuff like this. I've always said for years, if I was to come over your house with my jump rope and just jumping double dutch, and we was making this food, right? Which I think ideal. I think that's really the natural, ideal way. You know, I think we're not really born to just go through this whole life alone, even though we balance that out with good quality time spent with self so you can hear your own thoughts. So some people think it's a drag, but I have had cassette audiobooks when they were just on cassettes many years ago. And I'm usually studying or relaxing or listening to the breeze or different sounds going on around me. But you'd be amazed. Your brain will be like, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Every now and then I can get like that. That's usually a sign that I'm overtired or something, or it's time for me to get a glass of water. Sometimes it's still stuck up in the shell. So I'm going to do grandma style. There we go. I'm going to break the thing off there. So, yeah, I'm not one to give the fly-by-night stuff. As a trainer, professionally, I don't want anybody to hurt themselves when it comes to exercise. People just want a quick exercise or recommended herbs. There's some that are safe, but I'm not one to do that. There's plenty of other information that I could share. And sometimes me coming on live is more efficient than me editing all of those videos. Because actually, I don't know if people realize it takes a lot to edit videos. And YouTube is not all that I do. I got other stuff going on than YouTube, so. Sometimes this is just much more efficient. And I spend a lot of time in the garden, in the kitchen, or in my gym or training. Those are my favorite places, in addition to traveling. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask while you got my ear. If I can answer it, I shall. Or I can point you in the right direction. So several people have asked some other questions or have mentioned some videos that they would like to see. So I remember all those things and I put them in my running list of videos. And to be quite honest, sometimes sometimes I just like to just share and just be quiet. And who is it? I think it's one of the subscribers that's been on my channel for a while, Jacqueline the Visionary. Shout out to Jacqueline the Visionary. She's always commenting on the breeze in my curtains, which is funny because I'm the type of person that would notice things like that too. So those types of things are relaxing. I'm big into relaxing. So if you have questions, you can leave them in the chat and I'll keep them in mind for a future video. And shout out, thank you all for coming over to my little channel and spending some quality time with me. Virtually, that is, right? So again, just think, I'm telling you, if I come over to your house with my double Dutch rope, and I come over with a whole bag at a whole, I have like 10 pounds of peanuts that need shelling. Because my sister, you know, we like everything from scratch. So just know when you come over, bring some change of clothes because we'll be going in the garden to get a little dirty. I do have some nail brushes so you can brush your nails after. So we work and then we eat. So do you plan to get dirty? Do you plan to get sweaty? Like to walk, like to bicycle? You know what? I think, wait, who's to say something? Come on, we could, we could double that skate and cultivate the earth. When you talking to, honey, you talking kind of things I like. Look at here. I think, y'all can let me know what you think respectfully in the comments. I think, right? All right. I did a video, right? There's so many tea channels. And I like to be curious about things. I find it can be more effective than just being judgmental about things. Because we don't need one more thing to divide us. But I'm thinking like all of these tea channels, oh my gosh, I've never seen so many men with and women, but so many men, grown adult men. Not demonize it, but I just think it's an interesting phenomenon with gossip channels, like it's as a career. So many men with gossip channels. And so I think that could be just one thing. You can toss it, it's not necessarily true. So many of us are looking for distraction and avoiding things that we don't feel like doing, like, you know, cracking coconuts, which I kind of like doing. But it's like, it's taking on a whole nother, it's taking on like another kind of energy. And right now there's some kind of a crazy video out. I don't know the name. I don't even want to mention it. I barely saw a little clip of commercial or something that was on the timeline. I don't even want to see it. Because, and I'm not condemning anybody, but it's just energetically consuming it. It's like back in the day when they had Jerry Springer. It was so crazy. It's like, I can't believe what I'm watching, yet you're so enthralled. I really observed that a lot of the entertainment is literally hypnotic, and I don't think any of us is not affected. Am I saying that right? I think we're all affected. So, yeah, but the distraction is like, if you think of how many hours of distraction we spend, I don't know that we can, I think we feel anxious if we don't have so much of the noise going on, right? I don't know. It doesn't give me a good feeling. And I've been saying this just for years, even the best of us. For years, I was like, I don't want a TV. And eventually I realized, wow, the TV snuck through the cell phone and the iPad. You know, so it really takes something to be conscientious. I find what can be most effective is to have something to look forward to. Just like with the food, people think it's a drag to eat healthy, but how much stuff do you have to look forward to? And then it may be that some of us just don't know how to manipulate, or we just didn't get that, manipulate the fresh whole ingredients. You know, I got so many sprouts and everything is fresh here. So that means, you know, the very few times that people will come to my house, like, there's no food here. Oh, it's my brother's. There's no food here. I said, there's food here. You got to sprout it. You got to cut it. You got to suck the juice out of it. One time my son was like, Mommy, I'm thirsty. I said, you got to cut that grapefruit open and suck the juice out. That's what I'm doing. If you want some fresh juice, that's what Mama's doing. That's what Mama's doing. He had graduated from school years ago. One of his trips was, gifts was a trip out of the States, and the other one was a bicycle. I was like, Mom is on a bicycle all the time. You can get on a bicycle too. You can see the city. It's very relaxing, or wherever the environment is from a whole nother angle. It's so relaxing. And my bestie put me on to cycling as an adult. So not for competing or anything, but just as a form of transportation. So I wouldn't even consider that. As I said to many of my clients, I don't even consider that a workout. That's just transportation. That's just transportation. So you like to skate? Ooh, chill. I got my skates in here, honey. I got some new skates. And I got my 70s socks up in here too. Honey, somebody give me some beautiful socks. Thank you. Gave me some cute socks too, honey. I got rainbow socks. I got the ones that look like from Good Times. I don't know what generation. We might have several generations around here. But if anybody watched Good Times back in the day when JJ walked with his little skinny legs, he used to wear them socks. Remember them athletic socks? They used to come all the way up with the stripes. The 70s. So I'm a 70s baby. So I like the fashion back then. So I think I'm going slow with this coconut because I'm trying to cut myself and chit chat at the same time. There we go. This is the tradition of my grandma. I tell you, Grandma Lou is here. There you go. Some of them get a little stuck inside the shell. Some are a little stuck inside the shell. So I was just thinking, I said, I need some more daughters. I need some more daughters. Because I like this kind of stuff. I really enjoy having little girls around me. And even young women. So I was like, I'm going to have to adopt me some more daughters. And nieces. So I can take them with me to the market just like my grandma Lou did. I mean, that was exciting. And still today, I'm a market lover. Lover of the market. I'm just going to focus for a minute. So I hope everyone is going to prepare themselves some beautiful food. Not the best skater. Listen, I'm the person that's been taking driving and swimming lessons for eons. I ain't ashamed. I prefer the bicycle. I have been taking driving lessons, but I did manage to get a course at ice cold, which I'm not a fan of the cold. I had this Russian instructor. Ooh, best. Look, I'm losing pieces of my coconut. One of the best instructors I ever had. Said, you jump in pool, blow bubbles, go. And I'm thinking like, yo, you got me? Vladimir, you got me? Took me to the deep end of the pool and just told me to go. I got across that pool. So I'm not the best skater. I'm not competing with bicycling, but I'm telling you, I actually even made a couple of videos. It's just a matter of when am I going to get a chance to upload and edit them, which is I go live sometimes. So it's a simple channel. My sister's going to say, why did I crack the shell? Because she can make jewelry out of this. And we have so much coconut. We have like a mountain of coconut shell. So we wind up with a lot of bowls. You could use a coconut shell for so many different things. And a lot of times I'll use the shells from the coconut to hold the seeds, right, as I'm planting. I just planted a whole bunch of, great, it's out. I just planted a whole bunch of some new curly kale, some broccoli, some kale, broccoli. I think I planted some Asian greens. And some of the Asian greens, they don't all have an English translation. Oh my gosh. But some of them are so tender. Delicious. See, that's how you know your palate has changed when you really, really enjoy greens. I love me some greens, especially when they're child. The collard greens right now, I have some, the variety is called Southern Giant. Some of the leaves are like this big right now. And a lot of them are actually right outside in the yard, which is always a dream of mine. So I can go right outside and actually pick some for dinner. And actually right now we have a lot of eggplants growing right now. A lot of lemon balm. So some of the seeds, we have like some of the broccoli in the garden is going to seed. So to the city girl eye, city person's eye, It looks like, oh my gosh, that part of the plant is dying, but it's going through a process so that it can go to seed. And we need to let it go through the whole process so that we can collect the seeds, right? Unfortunately, we're seeing that there are a lot of things that are not seeding. And that's crazy too, because now you have some things that they say organic, but they're not yielding any seeds. You start growing stuff, it's going to make you do a double take. You're like, wait a minute, something is wrong here. How come this thing doesn't have any seeds in it? Actually, the more you think about it, that's why I tell you the food is talking to you. The garden is talking to you. It's a communication. But the context is not going to hit you until you are engaged in the process. So today's a little longer. I've been trying to be mindful. Some folks say that they don't have a lot of time. So I make some shorter videos, usually the relaxation videos. But do keep in mind, I do this on my free time. So, which is why one day I was like, you know what, live is, maybe I can share some tips or something live. Because that's more convenient, works with my schedule. And usually I move in spirit, not a religious person. If I catch a vibe or I'm thinking of something in the quiet as I'm moving around the garden, I'm like, somebody might find it's helpful. Then I can just turn on the camera and I can share. Now this is stuck in there. All right, folks, so I'm going to go finish cracking these coconuts. I hope that answers the woman, the sister's question that asked about the thinning. I really can't see your hair. It looks like I'm not a trichnologist or a hair specialist. I am someone that has very, very fine Afro textured hair, and I've been natural for over 30 years. So I can tell you my experience, and yours still may be a little different, but I will share some doodads. And keep in mind, which is interesting, you see this is the texture of my hair. It's not dry, brittle, but it's definitely dry. What was I going to say? It's actually, in the morning, it's shiny. If you were to pull it down, my hands are on food, but it actually has its own shine. But the way it's textured and the way light reflects off of it, you can't see it. But I can see when my hair is shiny when it's nice and it's clean. So what I have coming up, there are a couple of recipes, and I'm thinking there's a I don't know how I want to work it because these videos are time, but I may do something for like there's some kind of membership thing on this channel where I may just go all the way through the garden and go through the actual growing of the raspberry leaf. Because I told you I have this vision for Afronomics and Afroflowernomics. And I have a vision. So I'm envisioning taking some of the foods, getting the seeds out, planting them, and going all the way through the process of growing things like the roses, nettles, neem, all these different flowers, aloe, and cultivating them and growing a lot of them, everyone having your own little garden, because everybody can grow something, so that we can get into the process. I would love to see like this 10, 15, 20, 30 women, everybody's growing something, and you have all of these things at your disposal. Whatever zone that you're in, if you're in the States or whatever environment you're in, I guarantee you everybody can grow something that you can use for a tea or something, and not just a little teeny bit. You should see how many aloes I have, and I started from a piece that was no bigger than this little part of my finger. So now it's got to be like 150 plants, outside. And I'm looking forward to them getting bigger and bigger. I was like, so I can harvest aloe to eat, to put on my skin, and to make my own concoctions. And being I'm not using preservatives, all the stuff can go right through your skin, and you don't have to worry about it going into your bloodstream. So that's pretty exciting. That's part of this vision. Part of the vision. Oh, thank you. So yes, I'm just being simple. So if there's anyone that has questions for me or anyone trying to contact me, you can feel free to contact me at info@bodyculinary.com. And it may take 48 to 72 hours for me to respond because I have a big old schedule, which is why I'm on here multitasking over here. But I will get back to you. There's only so many hours in the day. So I have lots of ideas for content, but sometimes just so easy to just come on and just vibe right here. So maybe this is a simple good life over here on this channel. Because I don't know about you. Sometimes I just want to relax. I just want to be free. It's a lot going on. These new music videos and all of this stuff and all the fear mongering. My brain is too much on. I can only hold so much on my brain, my bandwidth at one time. Actually, this year I'm acknowledging those things affect your stress levels constantly, because the stuff coming at you from the screen, if you're not very conscious, it's a one-way deposit. The stuff is coming this way. You don't get to really react or respond the other way. It's a one-way deposit. You're not depositing anything. We're not really doing anything. We're stressing ourselves out by just being keyboard warriors with stress. And I think it's deeply affecting us. I think it was affecting us before our esteem, but I find it's affecting us more than ever, because it can make you jittery in your stomach and make you feel nervous in your stomach. So over here, you're going to find me over here cracking some coconuts and spritzing some water in my hair and seeing whatever I'm eating if I can plant it. That's what we're doing over here. So you are welcome to join me. Sometimes now I've been hooking the camera up to my bicycle, because I'm up in the early morning. I'm thinking of my mom and I'm thinking of other women. I'm always thinking like this. All these women, I feel like an untapped resource. And many women that may feel dejected or down or can't get their motivation, and the only option has been church. And I'm like, I tell my mom, Mommy, how come you're not praying and power walking? You know, so I'm like, okay, what can I do that won't deplete me? What can I do? So I said, because I think people could use some good company, right? And support, right? I'm not going to support you and going to eat in a whole carton of Haagen-Dazs. That wouldn't be me. I'm not going to do that. However, I will support you in some nice cream. I definitely will support you in terms of getting active. That's me all day. We could do that all day. You might have different friends for different things. I would not be a drinking buddy unless I could be a juicing buddy. I could be a double dutch skating buddy. You know what I'm saying? We could get together and learn about some financial stuff. Sharpen our skill. Definitely communication skills. So I was up late last night trying to figure out, I don't know what's more challenging. This channel is easier, but how to open up my other channel that is around my love for learning, because I love learning. Again, if we're going to be influenced and programmed, you might as well program and influence yourself. That's how I'm looking at it. Make it work for you. If you're going to be a junkie and creature habit, you might as well make it work for you and put some stuff in there. If you're going to be habitually doing something, you'd be better off habitually doing exercise or drinking coconut water or drinking a lot of water. You're not going to lose there. This piece of coconut is not good. See, this is why it's good to learn. When you see discoloration, no bueno. That's for the compost. So I like looking at every part of the plant. And I have this thing also about seeing food being produced, and I like to see it when it's on the tree. How many of you folks knew that there's fruit on a cashew tree? How many people knew that? I remember this part of the world I am, this is the first time that I've seen it. And actually this year, mango season is coming early, because just around the corner, I see a whole heap of mangoes on this tree. And this woman be letting her mangoes about this big drop on the ground for the birds to eat them. So I'm going to have to go over there and bring her some herbs up from my yard. See, now I understand why Grandma Lou and I was sending stuff back and forth. But I have to gift her with something, because we cannot let all of those mangoes go on the ground. That's a crime. That's a crime. I am here to help you out. I'm here to help you out. All right, let me go. I got coconut shooting all over the place. Y'all create a great rested day on purpose. If you have ideas for videos you'd like to see, you can leave them in the comments. I'll share as much as I can in the time frame that I can. Do understand these videos take a lot of time, which is why sometimes I'll come on live. And then sometimes I'll take the time to go through this whole backlog of videos and edit them in between my other work. All right, y'all. See you soon. Share the video with someone who could benefit. Do check out, Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey Learn to Eat Better. That's a puppet series. They're about 9 to 10 free, very, very short episodes. I don't even know if they're like 3 to 5 minutes. There's a whole series on this channel. You can scroll back. You may see some of my travels in Central America for those people that were asking about living in another country. So I am Belize, Brooklyn, Barbados massive. And this video about shampoo, and I'm looking forward to adding some things like natural sunscreen and definitely the Afro Flower series. And anyone can benefit from this channel, but I definitely have to give a shout out to all my Afro flowers, right? That we need that love and that attention, right? So the Afro Flower series is going to be all of these different things, right? That we're going to be pulling from our own yard to stimulate folks to think about whatever zone you're in, what you can grow for your own beautification, as well as things that you can take internally. So I'm going to go in the yard and pick them and come back and make them and then store them in the refrigerator and then put them on your face. And I think that's going to really activate a whole other type of intelligence, or hopefully more young women. I mean, I see a lot of DIY, which is great, but I think also I really want to add that piece or contribute that piece of folks starting to grow more, even if you just start with a couple of little pots in a windowsill garden. So yeah, Afro Flower. No, that's going to be a series on this channel. The other channel is called somehow I didn't upload the videos yet, but there's a Cocoa Think Tank, and what is it? I love learning, or love of learning, love learning Cocoa Think Tank. But and I explained to you why I'm calling it the Cocoa Think Tank. So I'm really interested in languages. I'm really fascinated by how we learn, and I'm also fascinated by what drives motivation and what drives self-sabotaging behaviors, as well as I'm really into and open to learning communication skills. I think I was just thinking about this earlier. See, when you're spending quality time in quiet, last thing, then I'm going to go, is I observe we've done a lot of religious and pseudo, or in our best efforts, pseudo spiritual bypass of communication skills, of basic communication skills. And yesterday, when I was doing some working here quietly again by myself, I was watching a very informational channel, and I was like, sometimes I'm a lover of learning. Right. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it was I came across such great information. A lot of it was confirmation of things I had figured out on my own. But I realized a lot of times we're sitting up in the church and we're praying. No offense, I grew up religious. I've done a lot of my standardized spiritual stuff. And everybody is spirit, right? We just may be out of alignment. But in any event, I realized how much we are grossly underdeveloped in terms of personal character, our own moral compass. That we bypass it, we ignore it, but we've been praying sometimes we just need some basic life skills and communication skills, right? So I was like, wow, we've done a religious, a huge religious bypass. Does this make sense to you, what I'm saying? We put religion over a lot of stuff, and we could have used some personal training, how to exercise effectively, how to move around injuries, right? Motivation to exercise. Oh, I saw something that touched me today. There was a brother teaching martial arts, right? And I don't know who posted it. I saved it. I don't know how I can share that on YouTube. Maybe you can find it on Instagram, because that's why I saw it. But anyway, a brother out in Detroit, as a man, black man, chocolate man, out in Detroit, and there was a little boy going through his martial arts test. You know how you test to get the different belts? And he was punching. He had to punch the square block of wood to, I guess, break it. And he was just, ha, ha. And he started crying. I guess his knuckles were hurting. He started crying. This teacher it gives me chills. He was so patient. And he said, it's okay to cry. He said, it hurts. He said to him, like, I'm sure I'm paraphrasing. He said, as a black man in America, there are going to be many things that hurt. And you're going to have to basically develop character. He said, it's okay to cry. He said, I cry too. Oh my gosh. This man was so encouraging. I was like, oh, that would be one of the men folk I'll be like putting my son in front of. It was so encouraging. So things like that. And I am not apologetic. I can learn something. You could be Asian, Korean. I can learn something from anybody. I'm unapologetic about that. We don't all have the same interests. Again, one of my, a beautiful young woman, she was teaching me Japanese, and I was teaching her African dance. I had a grand time. I found out so much stuff about Japanese culture that I just did not know. We know there are a lot of young Japanese that like Bob Marley, but she was sharing with me so much stuff about her culture. Oh my gosh. And I could go on and on and on. I am a lover of human beings and a lover of learning. I've had Indian clients, um, Irish, conservative, Jewish, and I've had some real human exchanges. Doesn't mean I have to agree with everything, but I've had some beautiful experiences. And so, yeah, it is what it is. I love learning. And I feel like every time I come away from an experience, I'm more enriched. Also, traveling, different countries. I have learned a lot, and it's different than just looking through a screen or reading a book secondhand. So, fortunately, that's what the other channel is going to be about. My love of learning, sharing that, sharing other channels I've come. I come across. I feel like I've attracted some of the best teachers. I've attracted some really wonderful teachers, and there's some folks doing some positive stuff that's not being leveraged. If you're on a computer and you're not learning, what the heck are we doing? Okay, you might have your little entertainment here and there, but put the timer in your quiet moments. You're by yourself. Put the timer on. See how much time. When we say we don't have enough time to eat healthy, come on, in your quiet moments, tell the truth. Especially if you feel bloated, you don't have to be very overweight. But if you feel like you got too much on you and you feel like you don't have time, you could be. I used to tell people and I used to tell clients, listen. If you're gonna be chit chatting with your friends, put them on speakerphone, or some of my older has some senior clients. Put the mouthpiece with the headset on and cut your vegetables while you're talking to your friends. You, me, everybody has the same amount of time in a day. So that's what I found effective, right? It's easy to talk at people. People thrive when they're supported. I've seen it. I've experienced it. People may even underestimate. Some of us maybe feel too prideful that we need help. I don't make no butter beans. I always keep coaches in my back pocket. People would ask me, how could you be a personal trainer? I always keep some kind of coach, personal trainer or something, because I want to go to another level of excellence. And until I check out of this experience, right? Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for coming to the channel and sharing some quality time with me. I could get joyous about these kind of simple things. I'm hot over here. It's probably like 90-something degrees. And I'm enjoying this. Let me go crack these coconuts. Y'all create a great rest of the day on purpose. Check out the gardening. Check out Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey. Learn to eat better. There are some really cute, I think some really quality. I think they're only 20 seconds or something. There's Kwasa with the K, Kwasa Peaceful Eating on TikTok. I put some stuff. I find me joyful. I find some joyous but funny videos. So y'all can check me and Banana out on Kwasa Peaceful Eating, Peaceful FULL eating on TikTok. All right, see y'all soon.